Hello YouTube vintage stereo collectors. This is a 1970 Sony TA-1010. It's a 15 watt per channel amplifier. It's capacitor coupled and it's quasi complementary, my favorite setup for transistor amp. I've said that in other videos, and you'll probably notice a common thing about my videos: vintage gear, but it's the lower powered bottom end of several product lines that I've been focusing on. I do this for a hobby. I'm retired. I've been doing this for about 40 years, and I buy them, restore them, listen to them for a while, sell one and bring some money back in to buy a couple other pieces to restore, that kind of thing. And what I'm finding is the buyers right now, and especially 2 out of 3 of my sales are to millennials, they're looking for a 15 watt amp or a 20 watt amp for their first system. It used to be back, I remember one stereo store I worked at, in the late, how do you put it, there had been a power war going on since the late 70s through the 80s. We sold Luxman, that was one of our brands, NAD, Sansui, and they all got bigger and heavier and more powerful. And yet they had models in their lineup, you know, we would kind of laugh at them, well, it's only got 20 watts per channel. But you'd hook them up in the showroom, and to be honest, many of the lower end models just had a nicer sound to them. It wasn't something you could evaluate in a laboratory. They just sounded smooth, especially when playing background music. And what I noticed is in repairing these is that this has the same phono board as the higher end models. Same tone board, same switchboard inside. Okay, they would use interchangeable parts. So the basic architecture of this amp was as good, as well engineered as their bigger models. It just didn't have the big power supply or the big outputs. And you know, sonically speaking, we used to think you had to have, for an amplifier to sound good, it had to sound good loud. Okay? And I learned over the years that that's actually not true. The mark of a good amp is one that sounds good at low volumes. That's in the evening when you're tired, you don't want it too loud, you want to listen to some music, you want to talk to your wife, you want to spend some time with friends. Let's turn this on. One nice thing about this one is no turn on thump, it has soft start. Well, this is an example of a nice, easy listening amp. Sounds great with jazz, whatever that is.
If you're looking at items,
just have a tuner off here to the side. I've started listening to this one since I recapped it. This one sounds great at low volume. It has the loudness circuit is actually engaged all the time, even though there's a switch. That doesn't really make a big deal. But since recapping this one, I am really impressed. I don't do many Sonys. There weren't as many around here in Ontario at that time. I usually stick to Kenwoods, to Sansui, that end of things. But it's actually very similar architecture, uses the quasi-complementary output transistors. But like, once again, basically what I'm saying here is the lower powered amps are what people are interested in today. And if you're a baby boomer or somewhere in that age range and your hearing's getting a little tired, you actually don't like listening to it loud anymore. It just, I don't know, most of my friends have tinnitus. So I like listening to things nice and low. As when I'm working on rebuilding something, I have the stereo that I rebuilt before that running. That's how I put the hours on them to test them. You know, see if they overheat, anything like that. But if you're looking for something, these Sonys are actually a real sleeper amp. The TA-1010, there's others in that series. Only a 15 watt amp, but great sound. Thanks for watching and listening.